What a result, a gritty win. A little bit nervy because there's only one goal in it, but he worked hard for that, didn't you?
Yeah, worked really hard. Newcastle in a fantastic shape. They're in the top 10 now, so we knew it was going to be difficult. They've made their home form count. And we had to, luckily we got the goal, and then, I don't think they had too many chances, to be fair. We had a couple to try and kill the game off, but all games are a wee bit nervy at this time of the season, and we're just delighted with the 3 points.
James, back on one of your old stomping grounds, man of the match performance according to our commentators. So you had opportunities to finish the game, didn't you? But you had a grip on possession throughout the game, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we controlled it well in spells. Other spells we could have controlled a bit better, but you're not going to be able to do that all the game. They've been on fire. It's a great atmosphere, as we know. They're a good team and playing well at the moment, full of confidence. So it was never going to be easy. Quick turnaround, obviously, from midweek, and games coming thick and fast. So I thought it was a good performance and stood up to a good test from them.
Andy, they came at you quickly at the start, possibly because of the 5 changes. They might take advantage of that, but you soaked it up quite quickly.
Yeah, look, they've obviously had a full week to prepare. Joe Linton was causing us a couple of problems early on with the long balls, and he was managed to win most headers. I thought second half the lads were excellent against him. Started winning the headers, and it made a big difference to us. So they started better than us, and then we got a foothold in the game. First goal was always crucial, managed to get it, and then I think we controlled it a bit better after that.
Yeah, Naby Keita, once that goal went in, you were in charge, really.
Yeah, it was a good finish, and it's obviously nicer to be in the lead, but 1 goal's never enough in this league. We know that, and thankfully it was today. But it's never enough to relax, and anything can happen at any time. So I thought we defended well. They caused us a few problems, and like I say, a few situations we could have done better. But this time of the season, it's all about getting that win and moving on.
Is it more satisfying than the fact that you're making these rotations and you're not dropping a point, not missing a step?
I think it helps, and obviously the position we're in, challenging on all fronts, I think it proves you need the whole squad, and we're blessed to have a great squad of players, a good mix of the younger guys coming in and pushing everybody, and obviously everybody's needed, and it's proved with every game that's coming. So we just keep that mindset the same. Next game, every 3 days, recover, go again.
Andy, 1-0's enough when you've got 35 clean sheets behind you. I mean, the defence is locked in. Yeah,
today I thought we were solid. Like I said, they didn't have many chances from what I remember. Obviously had the ball in the back of the net from an offside, but I thought the 2 centre-back, I thought Joe Gomez was different class at right back as well. And like Millie said, we need everyone in the squad. We're blessed we've got everyone fit just now, maybe apart from Bobby, but a lot of us are fit and healthy and fighting for places in the starting 11. And like I said, we made 5 changes today, but everyone, man of the match, Joe Gomez, different class, Naby Keita. So, it just shows that the lads are coming in and putting in big performances, and we'll need that from now to the end of the season.
And you're top, and the pressure switches elsewhere now.
Let's see how long it lasts, but we just have to win our games.
Gentlemen, well played. Thank you.
Top man, thank you.
James Milner, captain Jurgen Klopp's first game in charge. Talk about evergreen. And actually, when you make those changes, it wasn't just about Liverpool hanging on, having made a bunch of changes. It was about the players that come in and being among the best on the park.
Yeah, if you're gonna fight on all fronts, like going for the quadruple, as we keep talking about, then you're going to need your squad. And Milner came in today, was man of the match. Let's bear in mind, I think he made his debut 20 years ago. He's still affecting games at this level. Is a credit to his profession, I think. And Gomez as well coming in didn't miss Trent. I mean, he must be disappointed because Matip, Konate have come in at centre half, and he was instrumental at centre half. He's been pushed out of the team and sometimes as a deputy right back, but every time he comes in he gives top performances, and that's what you need at this stage of the season is a squad and people fighting competition for places, and that's what they've got.
And the goal tells that story of the changes making the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first and fifth goal. You can debate the if it's a foul or not. I don't think it's anywhere near a foul. It's a great tackle from Milner, but it epitomises what they're about. They lose the ball, retrieve straight away. The reaction, that's what you're there for. It's a great tackle. They get it out wide here, and I think if your target, you see him here as the left back, and he hasn't got anyone else coming on the outside. The fullback isn't coming out, but you'd see a Trent maybe, so he's got to worry about that. He always got to worry about is the man in front of him, and that's Naby Keita. But what he doesn't do, he doesn't follow him. The ball comes inside. And to be fair, it's a really good ball from Naby Keita. Plays it inside and then runs. But as a fullback, you've got to just follow your man there. As I said, there's no one else to muddy the waters or create a grey area. Do I go with the runner or go with the man inside? You go with the man who's in front of you. He doesn't do that. As the ball's played, look, as soon as he doesn't do that, that space is on. He's the wrong side of him. And to be fair to Keita, from this point on, this is what you call cool as you like, calm. Player coming in, hasn't played many games. To be this composed in this situation, Crashy said he sent a few out of the stadium. Oh, see you later.
He sent 3 men there, the goalkeeper and the 2 men on the line. But I think that's confidence. You know, he's took a little bit of stick since he's arrived, for a lot of money. And I think now he's really, really finding his feet in this team. And I think that showed it, how confident he is at the moment.
Total domination, in truth, from Liverpool. They could have had far more than 1 goal today, couldn't they?
Yeah, you say Dubravka's probably the Newcastle's best player today, the saves he made on the day. And that shows probably the performance wasn't up to the previous 6 performances here at home when they won the game. So, Eddie will look back over the next couple of days and think where they can improve. Could have made maybe more changes in the second half we spoke about off air, but a bit frustrating from a Newcastle point of view.
But it's how good Liverpool are. This is how good they are, Peter. They can dominate like this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Newcastle, let's not forget how far they've come, I think. They were relegation for everyone thought they would go down. I think defensively, I know Liverpool had a lot of shots, they had chances, possibly could have scored more, but Newcastle were in the game at all times. Attacking-wise, they need to work on that, but defensively it has got better. But listen, Liverpool can cut anyone open, and they cut Newcastle open at times today and just couldn't finish it off the game. So
the thing about these chances, Jake, I felt that maybe Newcastle might sneak a chance at the other side, a set play, a mistake or something, but Liverpool were in cruise control today, and I think you can see Jurgen's face there. He was frustrated because he felt 1-0, we all know 1-0's a dodgy scoreline, anything can happen at the other end, but they just were very professional today and seen the job out.
That would have been a nerve-wracking watch, actually, for the Liverpool fans at home, wouldn't it? Wondering, like, one breakaway, one moment, and suddenly it all changes.
It's a nervy part of the season, isn't it? Let's be honest. But they do usually calm you down with their performances, and they have done of late. But that one today was, as I said, a potential banana skin that they've overcome again.
Let's hear from Jurgen Klopp. He's with Des.
Jurgen, the huge games keep coming and coming. I mean, we all know about the quick turnaround for this one. Does that make that result and that win more satisfying?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the most difficult circumstances coming here. You can have a team in form, obviously, a crowd who was waiting for ages for proper success. Now they have it, 6 home games on the bounce, home wins on the bounce. So coming here with 5 changes and building pretty much a new setup is really difficult. And so the performance was absolutely outstanding. I have to say, I loved it. We controlled the game in so many ways. It's difficult. The only plan they had obviously was a long ball to our right side. From there they wanted to play on, but we had just some moments where it struggled because it's just difficult, but the rest we really controlled.
Yeah, you mentioned about keeping the rhythm despite the changes. You certainly did that. We could see it.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, it's the impact we have from the bench in games is outstanding. But now it's really coming from the bench before a game, pretty much, and we expect a lot. But the boys have to deliver, and it's outstanding. Joe Gomez, what a game! Naby Keita, what a game! James Milner, what a game! So I was mentioning 3. Who didn't start up front? Diogo Jota, oh my God, what a game. And then Joel Matip, of course, as well. The other 5, 6 had to go through again. And then you see Andy Robertson, and minute 93, with a 150 miles per hour sprint going down. That's absolutely exceptional. And yeah, good.
And it's built on a defence that is just lock solid today.
Yeah, it's obviously difficult. Look, because you cannot really defend them properly, because it's just obviously it's long balls. It's like you go there, you have to fight for the ball, foul, no foul, ball drops down, they kick the ball in behind, these kind of things. It's really difficult to get a feeling for the game. So, but that's obviously not the first time that things like this happen. So I really thought we dealt with it exceptionally well. We had to adapt a little bit in moments, putting Joel maybe a bit wider and Joe in the side, but the most important thing was putting Naby in front of the challenges that he really can pick up there and all these kind of things. So it was good. It was a great atmosphere, obviously, in the stadium. Our people were outstanding. Newcastle was a pretty passionate crowd, and winning here is special.
And the spotlight now turns to Manchester City.
No. Oh God!
No,
to Villarreal. They are 2-1 down in the moment. They're playing as well at 1 o'clock. They have a BT as well, obviously there, that's what I'm interested in. Didn't think a second until now about Man City, but immediately about Villarreal.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, good. Okay, good.
Come on, Rio, he'll be watching the game, won't he?
Trust me, all eyes will be on that that TV screen when they're playing. 100%. You can't help it. Or you're definitely listening, or you're in a WhatsApp group where you're just telling people to tell you what's happening. I couldn't actually watch the games against opponents, but everyone's different.
Look, we've got a big game next Saturday. Tottenham up against Liverpool. Take us into what this feels like, because from the outside it feels like a kind of sudden death penalty shootout. One mistake and it's over. What's it like when you're in the middle of it?
It's who finishes first. I think it's difficult. I think we had it when Man City, they caught us and they ended up winning the league. But you play, and every game is pressure, and it can be nervy, and all you're hoping for is to get an early goal. And Liverpool got that today, and then it was cruise control, and they just managed the game, which is the way you want to do it. And like I said before, not exerting too much energy is key as well. But now City, it's their turn, and I think City players would have been watching this game at the beginning, and a lot of them, the goal goes in, you go, right, that's it, because they know this team ain't going to flinch.
And as an opposition player, did you ever talk about it if a team were in the title race? You say, come on, look, let's exploit this. Let's really put the pressure on them. Let's worry them.
Yeah, it's a chance to make an impact on a Premier League season. You know, sometimes even these Newcastle players today, like, they're safe. They're middle of the table. You know, they've got nothing really left to play for, but they can have an impact on the title race. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, it's a chance for them to put themselves on the map, and I think there'll be more teams thinking that way towards the end of the season.
Yeah, frustrating Newcastle. We said before the game that it was just a free hit for Newcastle today. Eddie Howe's done a brilliant job with staff, 43 points, they're cruising really, and it didn't feel that way. It felt like they wanted to be quite defensive today, and just felt, second half especially, I thought maybe they could have opened up a wee bit more. And if they lose 2-0, no one's going to say here, Liverpool beat you 2-0, but they just might have a bit more of an offensive battle today. They might have sneaked something, perhaps.
I think if you're Chris Wood, you come on the pitch and you expect the ball to be wrapped into you, get the ball in and round, let me make it to work a little bit. But that would have been one of the disappointing things for me. But there's so many positives to take from Newcastle at this stage of the season from where they were when Eddie Howe came in.
Well, let's hear from him. Eddie is with Des.
Eddie, what's the verdict on that? Did you ever quite get going fully, or is that possibly because of Liverpool's quality?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think we quite got going. I thought we made a bright start to the game. But we slightly disappointed with our overall performance in the respect that I don't think individually we hit our top levels. So then collectively as the team, I don't think we quite hit the levels that we have done previously. I think you have to credit the opposition. We know the strength of them, but and they had their moments in the game. Liverpool on counter-attacks, and they looked threatening. We probably didn't have that sustained spell of pressure that we were looking for.
The goal changed it. The momentum changed. Did you have any complaints about the goal, the tackle?
I haven't seen it again, but that's what VAR intervened. Then I assume that we have nothing to complain about.
No, but that was the turning point from the game. It seemed that you lost your way for a little while after that.
Yeah, I think naturally, when you concede, and we were disappointed with it, obviously a man out of the game and right in the heart of our defence, we looked light on bodies. Yeah, so disappointed with the goal. We responded okay. Second half I thought was better, generally as a performance, without that big chance ever really coming.
And some individual performances. Matt Targett had a good game against Diaz, who was a danger man for them. He played well.
Matt Targett's done very well, consistently performed well, defensively especially. So yeah, I think there were one or two bright sparks, but I think, slightly disappointing compared to our previous levels.
So you measured yourself against one of the two best teams probably in the world right now. What did you see?
Well, I think I've seen progress from where we have been, but then on the side to that, a lot of work to do. So probably where we
think. I think it's a good appointment. There's been a lot of speculation. I think it's been on the cards the last few months. I think the club would be glad just to get the deal done. He can now start looking at the club and start working in the background. Obviously, officially doesn't come on board for another month or two. He's got a solid CV. He's got a very good reputation. But I suppose the proof's in the pudding. We'll know better when he's into the job and he gets the backing and the support and hopefully given a little bit of power to get Man United back competing at the top.
Right now, that seems like a long way off. It feels like a huge job that he's got on his hands. How does he have some early wins, do you think?
Well, I think, again, we'll go back to it. You look at this United team and what he'll be looking at is you've got to try and get a group of players or the players on side that will give everything for the cause, that will be hard to beat, and will hopefully have a style of play that brings, entertains the fans and get back United to winning. But it's, as we know, we'll use the word, it's a rebuilding job. He's fortunate, I think, coming into summer, there's 5 or 6 big players who are on big contracts who are obviously already leaving. I think that will help. And I think every Man United manager always did. They do get back in. He will get some money to spend, but it's getting, again, the right players the right characters into the club, because what we've seen the last few months just hasn't been good enough from this group of players. They don't look... We talk about giving everything for the cause. These players don't do that.
We've been trying to ask the question, what are they actually getting in Erik ten Hag? Jamie, we've done some digging around numbers in the Champions League this season, in which Ajax and Manchester United were both competing, and Ajax under Erik ten Hag topped their group but went out in the last 16 to Benfica. But while they were involved, they were doing very nicely, averaging the second most goals per game, the most touches in the opposition box. Only Liverpool and Bayern Munich enjoyed more possession this season. Only Liverpool won more possession in the final third. You can see how high they are in terms of shots for high turnovers. They like to win the ball high up the pitch. He likes crossing teams as well. They're third on that list. And also you see as well, he likes his defenders involved in attacks. Only Liverpool, again, higher in those bottom two categories, which both tell us a little bit about the kind of style we might expect, in contrast to what we're seeing from Manchester United.
Yeah, don't look at the right-hand column for sure. But if you looked at what he's done at Ajax, he's done a good job in the Dutch model. They play out from the back, and I think that will obviously be will work with what modern teams try to do: high pressing, lots of possession. There'll be a exciting team on paper, but it doesn't matter. He's got to get the recruitment right here, because I can't imagine now. Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola all of a sudden frightened because Ten Hag's coming. It will be more the recruitment, the players. That's when we'll learn what Manchester United are doing in the future, because there's every chance it could get worse before it gets better. That could also happen. Now he's going to need backing, he's going to need a lot of support. The fans are going to have to get behind him. But what they've got is a manager in place, because they've been messing around for a few years now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a temporary manager, gave him the job, but sort of gave him the job. Rangnick's been in there now. He's got a massive job to do, because he's now will be going back to the manager and saying, he's a good lad. Yeah, you want him with you. He's not the sort of guy you want in the trenches with you. And Roy will know that as well. You need to know the good players and the good people that are going to be here for the future to get Manchester United back to where they were.
Let's bring Gary Neville into this conversation. Gary, a few clues then around style. What else is important, do you think? Character, leadership?
Obviously, not going to be able to do that, I think, in one transfer window. I mean, if you look at those stats, and you were one of the Manchester United players in the dressing room, you'd be a little bit worried, because Ralf Rangnick came here as a pressing guru, and he's not been able to get anything out of them on that front. In fact, he's referred to their lack of physicality I don't know how many times in his interviews in the last few weeks. So if Erik ten Hag is going to be really brutal, like Jurgen Klopp was when he first went into Liverpool and got rid of Benteke, or when Joe Hart was let go by Pep Guardiola, he's going to be letting a lot of this lot go, because they can't press high up the pitch, they haven't got the physicality. They don't want to win the ball back early. They don't chase down and hunt together. Now, you could point towards a coaching thing, but that's not happened under Ole. It's not happened now under someone who's been renowned for playing that type of system throughout his sort of coaching career and his other roles. So I think there's going to be a massive, massive change. And obviously 5 or 6 of them are going anyway because they're out of contract. But I can see probably even more being let go, and a real brutal sort of, if you like, transition. Character and personality... I know it's used a word that's used a lot by us all, and I think we've got to be sort of probably more specific about what we mean of that. When you see sort of character and personality at Manchester City, there are players who, they're not warriors, as in sort of, they're not wandering around having stitches in the head, but they've got fantastic personalities and characters, the likes of Foden, the likes of the bravery of De Bruyne to always take the ball, the bravery of the goalkeeper to always take the ball and sort of be courageous and set the attacks off. They've all got a personality and a character, even though they're not shouters and screamers and things like that. And I think the way in which Erik ten Hag will want sort of personality and character is that they have players with authority on the ball who can go to Anfield, like the Manchester United team didn't last week, take the ball under pressure, make sure they handle that Anfield crowd, not necessarily sort of come in and start organising and shouting and bawling and asking for sort of demands from people. Just the basics, really, of a good football team nowadays, which is different than what we sort of, if you like, had in our team, which is, good football players, but we also had big, dominant personalities. I don't think they exist too much anymore.
We're obviously watching, Gary, as well, a relentless title race between Manchester City and Liverpool, and you'd have seen the news that Jurgen Klopp's staying for even longer. I think you've said yourself that a title challenge for Manchester United feels like a long way off. So what should be the short-term targets for Erik ten Hag?
Yeah, I think in the first couple of seasons to re-establish Champions League football, to strengthen the hand in the transfer market, improve obviously the finances at the club through that as well, is a priority. And then obviously if they can get a trophy, this team, because obviously this team haven't won a trophy for a few years now, so if they can get a cup competition and pay attention in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, which has not always happened, that would, I think, be the priority in the first 2 seasons. And then in sort of year 3 and 4, they've got to start getting closer to the title. But I said it was going to be 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years wasn't just a guess. It was based on the amount of recruitment that Ten Hag will have to do to get the style of play and the transition that's going to happen this summer. Him to get his feet under the table and sort of build something, but also just the excellence of the other 2 or 3 teams that are up there at this moment in time. And if Klopp's going to be around for 4 years and Pep Guardiola's going to be around for 2 or 3 years, that's going to be an incredibly difficult job for those players there.